quarter to the weekend, and we couldn't be more excited to be bringing you Smell the Coffee on this beautiful Thursday morning. The girlies are up and they are not stuck. We're not stuck.
You
We're
are
up
not
and we're
stuck
up.
today.
We're up and we're up.
We are
We're
up
joined by
and
Diana
awake.
Master
Yes.
and the gorgeous Aina Riza Quayo. How you doing?
Couldn't be better, darling.
Darling.
Thursdays are my favorite.
Oh, is it you or me? Is it you or me?
Can't be better. Like, I've never been better. I've never felt better. I mean, the birds are singing today. The
Yes.
sun is beautifully shining on us. And, you know, we are just blessed to see another day.
Yes.
I mean, the air is fresher today.
It's fresher. Everything is in alignment. It's giving syzygy, you know, where everything is aligned.
in sync, darling.
In sync. We are so happy.
I am particularly very happy. I don't know, I think there's a lot to be grateful for. And I always say, be grateful for where you are.
Yeah.
And be grateful for what you have. And more truly, be grateful for the things that you don't have and the places where you are not at. Because you would have never survived if you're in those places right now.
It's funny because I was having that conversation yesterday with someone and they were saying, you know, a lot of the times we're so upset over things that we don't get. When you should be grateful that, you know what, I'm grateful I didn't get this thing because A, B, C, D, and E. You never know what's waiting for you there, you know. So just be grateful. Things that didn't happen, there's a reason it didn't happen.
There are things that are happening for me now that I wanted so badly 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And now the other day I sat by myself and I said to myself, you know, maybe if I had gotten it when I wanted it, it would have ruined me.
It really would have ruined you. It would have destroyed you because a lot of the times we think we're ready for something, but we're actually not. So we still have to go through a season of preparation and actually learning how to manage that thing. This is why they always say, pray for wisdom, like so that when you get the thing that you've always been praying for, you know how to handle it. You don't mismanage it.
Yes.
Because most of us, we are not spiritually mature. We may think we are, but a lot of the times we aren't. So you even have to do some introspection, be like, okay, what is it that I need to do to prepare for this thing that I'm praying for, or that I'm hoping for, or that I'm manifesting, whatever it is that you believe in. So yeah, I do agree with what you're saying. Like, you know, sometimes you're not ready for that thing that you think you want.
There's this song that I had and now it's stuck in my head. I woke up feeling blessed, I'm so blessed, yeah. I don't know whose song it is, but I used it over the weekend for my picture and now it's just
now it's stuck in your head.
Yeah.
It's not stuck in your head, there's a reason it's in your head.
I think
because
so.
you are blessed.
I woke up in the morning feeling
so blessed. And even if you aren't, just take a look at
there is
the
no one
things.
who is not blessed.
Yes.
You are blessed in different areas. You might not be on TV like Aina and Diana, but maybe you make more money than Aina and Diana. Maybe you are more healthier than Aina and Diana. There is no one who isn't blessed. Everyone is blessed in a certain area. Everyone is struggling in a certain area.
You can never have it perfect.
That's why they say don't wish for Aina's life.
Exactly.
Because maybe Aina is on TV, but she doesn't have a love life. But you have a love life, you have money, you have health. There's something that you have that somebody else doesn't have.
Don't wish for what other people have because you don't know what those people are going through. And sometimes you won't even be able to handle it. Aina can handle it because that's the assignment on Aina's life. She can handle those things. I will never be able to walk a mile in Aina's shoes. It's just how it is in life.
Don't aspire to be like the influencers you see on social
aspire
media.
To be yourself, to be the realest version of yourself. And also I think one of the other important things that we need to remember is that we have tiny little blessings every day. The fact that you woke up today is a blessing.
Then you got to work safely.
It's a blessing.
Then you're doing this show where people are watching you. It's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
Even when you step out of studio, it's a blessing.
So just if you can't think of all the big things. Think of the tiny little things, the things that we take for granted.
You even drank a good cup of coffee this morning.
With milk.
Someone
maybe
didn't.
Without milk, but you know, things like that. You went to bed last night and you had a roof over your head.
Yeah.
So be grateful for the little things, because then you're opening up room for bigger things, for more things. But I think that's our word of the day for this beautiful Thursday. The girlies are feeling blessed. They're feeling inspirational. But we'll be right back.
Uptight.
But we'll be right back with our top stories right after this.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
What better way to close off the week than with a bizarre story? A man has been put on probation for sneaking into neighbors' homes to smell their shoes.
Oh, no.
Imagine that. Yep.
Ew.
He wanted to put himself in their shoes, quite literally. A man in Greece was given a suspended 1-month prison sentence for sneaking into his neighbors' homes at night and smelling their shoes. The 28-year-old sniffer, who told the Thessaloniki court he couldn't explain his foot fetish, was in essence put on probation in order to seek therapy. He went on to explain that the unusual act did cause him plenty of embarrassment, and it was not his intention to harm anyone or break the law. Neighbors testified to the fact that he never showed any signs of hostile behavior. The perpetrator was arrested in Sindos, about 9 miles west of Thessaloniki in northern Greece. A neighbor who had left his family's shoes outside his house so they could air out found the man sniffing them. This wasn't the first time he had been caught in the act. In the past 6 months, 3 similar incidents occurred, even though neighbors had asked the man's family to intervene and get him to stop sniffing their footwear.
That is so wrong. I would be
freaked out if you're in Africa because you think that's witchcraft.
Yes, like, why are you sniffing my shoes, bro?
Yeah.
Like, people have time. I want to be able to have the time that some people have. You know, time is a luxury. You just wake up, and then what's on your agenda that day is just to go sniff people's shoes.
Yeah.
Random people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, they're not random. I mean, they're your neighbors.
But they are random. Like, you met these people just when you moved in this neighborhood. Like, these people aren't connected to you in any way. Yes, we are advocates for fostering good neighborly relations, but now...
Not to that extent. I mean, we don't fetish shame, but, you know, sometimes people really do need help, especially if it's causing other people distress. Yeah, I know. I'm glad the court sent him to get help. They're like,
I'm
no,
glad
you need
this
therapy.
is not happening in Africa.
Yeah, bro.
Because in Africa, sure. Did you see the story about the woman who took, I think she first took oil? Or am I mistaken? It's in Namibia. And then it's a I think a clerk. No, what are these other people called? The ones that work at the magistrate court? Not
clerk, yeah.
There are clerks, and then there are some other people. So one of the people who work at the magistrate court, they reported recently that now they brought something that is looking like salt, and then she splashed it over her table, over her chair. Apparently it's for her own protection. Wow. So now the other colleagues are perplexed, and they are like,
and they feel
why are you doing? They feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So don't do things that will
affect other people.
Yes,
I think things like that in your house, it's fine. Do that in your house.
You should look up that story. It's very interesting.
I mean, sometimes I sleep with salt under my pillow, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's at home.
That's at home. I don't come in studio and start sprinkling salt everywhere.
Imagine.
I saw a meme that said, I'm burning sage, and my boyfriend says it's irritating his skin. I was like, yeah, I bet it is, you demon. I'm like,
Even burning sage, you just can't come and
Burn
sage.
sage.
Like,
Now I'm asthmatic, I have an asthma attack because you decided you want to burn
also,
sage.
I just don't believe maybe.
Yeah, like guys,
Some of
just
these
respect
things,
other people,
yeah.
especially when you're in a communal place. Respect people's boundaries. You
Yeah.
can do that in your house or wherever.
But nonetheless, let's talk about Kim Kardashian and her family. So yeah, let's roll the picture so we can talk about this story. So for Kim's 44th birthday on Monday, the reality TV star icon was presented with a diamond-instructed nameplate necklace engraved with a quirky phrase, which is called Skibidi Toilet. Naturally, the namesake has left many fans baffled, but there is quite a sweet sentiment behind North's lavish gift to her mum. So North gave her mum
A
this.
skibidi toilet.
Yeah, like a neck piece. It's a neck piece engraved with Skibidi Toilet. So yeah, the 11-year-old who Kim shares with estranged husband Kanye West forked out a fortune for the jewelry piece, as experts claim that the engraved gold necklace could range from $15,000 to $20,000. Now, CEO of the brand, The Clear Cut, has estimated that each diamond on the playful piece weighs between 8 and 10 carats. During an Instagram live video on Monday, Kim showed off her quirky new piece of jewelry to fans. North joined Kim in the video as the pair hinted at the meaning behind the engraved word Skibidi Toilet. As it turns out, North revealed that her famous mama loved and enjoyed Skibidi Toilet, a weird and wacky viral web series created by Alexi. The internet creator uploaded an 11-second video into his YouTube channel last year, and it sparked an instant phenomenon. The initial video featured a head image emerging from a toilet while singing. It quickly became a cultural phenomenon evolving into more than 70 videos ranging from 1 to 5 minutes. The premise of this series follows a fictional war between human-headed toilets and humanoid characters with electronic devices for heads. So that's the neck piece on the right. I don't know, maybe it's the left for you, but in the little circle. I think it's cute. I want to be able to afford my mom, you know.
Rich people don't know what to do with their money. I'm sorry.
No, but she has done well with her money.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
I don't know now. Do they give her access to the savings? Does
In
she
all
go
honesty,
with her dad to go swipe? Does she go
when
with
I
her
saw
grandmother?
Skibidi Toilet, before I knew what Skibidi Toilet was, I just thought of that one time Kanye posted on his stories, Kim has way too much diarrhea for a normal person. Like, way too much. And then Kim was like, please stop putting our business out there. And then he says, I know you're tweeting this from the toilet. That's what I thought about. So I thought, like, Kanye had a hand in it. But you know what? Yeah.
That's very rude, Kanye. After being asked politely, you do the same thing.
I know you're tweeting this.
That's extremely shady. That's so rude. But nonetheless, maybe it's their love language.
Their
Maybe
love
that's
language,
how
I guess.
playful they are with one another. Yeah.
Good for them. Well, that brings us to the end of our top stories. Now, after the break, I get to talk all things poetry with the Frankly Speaking Poetry Group. Stick around. Today on Smell the Coffee, we are talking all things poetry, and we are joined by Frankie, who is part of the Frankly Speaking Poetry Group. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for joining us, first of all.
Yeah, man. It's nice out here, man. Smelling the coffee.
Smelling the coffee.
Metaphorically speaking.
All right, so tell us about the journey of the Frankly Speaking Poetry Group. What inspired its founding, and how has it evolved over the past 4 years?
So Frankly Speaking was, we founded Frankly Speaking sort of as a result of what happened after COVID, and I think we used to have great poetry leaders like your Patrick Sam, your Ashwin Berries, guys like your Tender Hearts, who you guys know as Zakaria today. This way, some of the biggest names as far as poetry is concerned. And what happened after COVID was that those platforms just kind of died at what we used to call the I think it's called Brewers now, but it was the Warehouse Theatre.
Yes.
It was the Warehouse Theatre that was real poetry. And so when that died out, we thought, why don't we create a space where poets can still have like a platform to express themselves. So myself and Frida, we started Frankly Speaking. By the way, I think the very first, actually the second show we had was just me, Frida, and the security guard there.
Oh my God.
And we still had to do the show.
Oh no.
Yeah, and the security guard was just annoyed, like, yo man, guys, we know we can lock up, right? I mean, we can go. So that was 4 years ago, so we're celebrating 4 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so you've come quite a long way.
Yeah.
So what can attendees expect from the 4th anniversary celebration on October 26th? Are there any special performances or themes?
So what we've been able to do over the past 4 years was that we've sort of integrated poetry in the correctional facilities in that, so the same show is on radio. The same show is also then, for some reason it caught some sort of popularity in the correctional facilities, and so now we mentor there as well. But we also teach poetry at high schools, and so what's happening is that for every show we have, the open mic is exclusively either for somebody that just got released from the correctional facility or the high school kids, so definitely that. But the third thing is that we theme our work, right? And so given the fact that it's elections and it's whatnot, we're trying to do something around the area of freedom, whether it's women emancipation, whether it's economic freedom, whether it's just individual, the celebration of you as an individual. So freedom is the theme for this event.
That is beautiful. So we all know poetry can be a powerful medium for expression. What are some of the most memorable or impactful pieces you've heard from the group over the years?
So I would say I've got two memorable ones. The first one was from a guy at Everett. In fact, that's my very first letter that I had gotten. So what they would do is they would just write out the letter to the station. And at the time, we're doing this radio show, and this envelope has been there for like weeks. No one cares.
Just
and then one day the guy was like, yo, isn't this your name on it? And I opened the letter, and this dude, he's serving time at Evaristo Correctional Facility. 16 years for murder, he said, because they usually share their stories and then they write out their poetry. So that one. And then the second one would be where we first started to teach, which was Windhoek High School. And there's a guy there, young guy, he's 15 at the time, and Silas, and he wrote this piece. It's called I've got Tassenberg or something in that line. And I just thought, how is it possible that a 15-year-old is able to express themselves in this manner?
Much,
and so, not that they're the best, they're just like the memorable ones that I can sort of
think about from the top of your head.
Yeah.
All right, so of course being an organizer for poetry events comes with some of its challenges. What have some of those challenges been, and how did you manage to
Not
navigate
showing
them?
up, man. Do you understand what it's like to stand by the venue?
I know.
Ain't nobody coming.
I know.
You've got to give yourself the courage, like, yeah, no, it's all about consistency. That's one. Two, you also need to understand that I think poetry is such a high resolution art, through poetry at least, in that it requires thought.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we don't have a bigger audience that sort of delves in high resolution thinking, unfortunately. And so you already have to convince people to come sit there and listen to you. First of all, they need to listen.
Yes.
They need to consume the information.
Yes.
And I think the other one is, the challenge has always been to, to use these old ancient stories that might seem anachronistic in a sense, to sort of, to make mention, or at least to engage modern topics. That's been very, very difficult. You know, how do we preserve culture,
bridge,
and how do we bring modernization together,
Yes.
and still sort of emanate a message that works? That's been wildly difficult, actually.
I can imagine. I could think so. All right. So, as you celebrate this milestone, what are your hopes and visions for the future of the Frankly Speaking Poetry Group?
So we stand on this axiom, and that is that, frankly speaking, it's in the voice, because I think the Namibian story should be told by the Namibian. But ideally, we also believe, in the words of JBP, that in order for you to be able to think, you must risk being offensive. And it's very difficult for us to have real conversations without them being offensive.
Yes.
Ideally, that's the point, right? Because growth means it's got to be uncomfortable. we want to see that poetry is not just an event that we host monthly, at least for me personally. I want to see local poetry integrated in the local curriculum. And that has to happen. There has to be a subject in 5 years that's called Frankly Speaking, that my kids' and their kids' are going to have to have as a subject in school.
Yeah.
Because I think we are fed information consistently, and that's not a problem. But I think it's weird that somebody would come from the mountains of Caucasus and then tell you a Namibian story. I believe the Namibian story should be told by the Namibian. And who better to tell it than the young people? That's why we target high schools, you see. I'm not important. I'm not relevant in this group. I think my relevance was that I've been given a torch. It's my job to pass it over. Simple as that.
Oh, you're doing beautiful work. So how important is collaboration and support among poets, and how does this event reflect that?
I have seen what has happened over the years, whether it's people like Mr. Poet, Officially Poetic 44 times, Dam Etu. You see, because poetry has got genre. There are people who are the best activists, like Dam Etu is a great activist. There are people who are just comical poets, like Mr. Poet. And you find that over the years, like I think a week ago, we had sent Mr. Poet to Durban. There was a African Poetry Festival happening. And so he went to represent Frankly Speaking. And I think what came out of that festival was this idea of creating a network amongst Southern Africa, but entirely the whole continent as well, to share one continental story. And that came from collaboration. That came from me listening to Ashwin, and Ashwin would say, I remember going to an Ashwin show. Ashwin was like, you're not ready. And it's like, this dude, but you want me to peg the chairs. I get it now.
Yeah, you understand,
I understand now
yeah.
why he was like, look, if I put you on now, it potentially could damage you. And so, rather, but he was. The thing was, I need to see you coming here consistently, learning, and then when you're ready, I'll let you know. So I look up to people like them because, again, there's nobody that can write like that guy, man. You know, it's going to take us like 2,000 years before there's another Ashwin. It's just a reality.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So are there any poets or performances that the audience should particularly look out for at the anniversary celebration?
Yeah, so you've got Dam Etu, you've got Mr. Poet, the comical person, you've got Anilo Poet, you've got the school, you've got two schools, so you've got the learners from Windhoek Gymnasium, which is the other school we teach, and then you've got Windhoek High School. We've got an open mic because the open mic is usually very packed. We try and reduce it to like 5 because we do not want to we don't want to lose the intrinsic value of the event in that, as long as you're right. I feel it wouldn't be fair for you to have started writing last night and I give you the platform that big. Because even we did time. And so we sift a lot. We do a lot of audition, and that's just for open mic. So you've got Mr. Poet, you've got Anilo Poet, you've got Officially Poetic 44 times, and then Dam Etu, and then you've got Windhoek High School, Windhoek Gymnasium, and, a little bit of a flavor there by the open mic.
A little bit of flavor. Love. And finally, what advice would you give to aspiring poets who are looking for a platform to share their work?
Right. Just constantly write, be the J.K. Rowling of poetry, be the, Wallace Yonka of poetry. You constantly need to exercise the gift. And I think, don't chase the platform. There's a deception in platform and popularity, in that it clouds you from true value, true creative value. I'd say write. And again, be open to, I wouldn't even say criticism, I'd say be open to the fact that you don't know it all. It's beautiful to not know it all.
I see. Let go of your ego.
Yeah, it's beautiful to not know it all because that means there's hope for you to learn.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for years, and even I would tell you now, there's so much I don't know. I'm just winging it. I think, people are just like, man, I like the way you, like, I don't know.
And like,
what
thanks,
I'm
but
doing.
I don't know what
I'm just going with it. So write, be open to criticism, but ideally you need to hone your craft.
Okay.
You owe it to your craft that it matures. It's okay for you to be humble, but never humble the gift. It's okay for the person that owns the gift to be humble, but you never humble the gift. So find a difference, or at least find a balance in those two.
You do have a way with words. I see. Well done. Well done. This is beautiful. This is truly inspirational. Yeah. Where can people find you? What do you know?
You see, I'm not. My team calls me a dinosaur because me and my social media. I know we are on Instagram, on a page called Frankly Speaking. That's it.
That's all you know.
That's all I know.
You know. Okay.
How they do the reels and do.
That's none of your business.
So just find us at Frankly Speaking on Instagram, and you can take it from there. You can DM us. We've been having a lot of requests about, do we mentor right now it's difficult resource-wise and also because capacity as far as human capital. But we would like to be in a position where we offer such services as far as mentoring and publishing and writing. But I think if you ever are able to write and read and you're able to express yourself extemporaneously, you are a very dangerous human being.
Oh, you heard that from the man himself. Thank you so very much for joining us today. We look forward to your event.
Thank you so much.
All right, stick around. More Smell the Coffee coming up right after this. And that's a wrap for Thursday Smell the Coffee show. Tomorrow, Glenora will be taking you through. As always, you guys will go on a little excursion and a little adventure.
Around
Windhoek, darling. But from Diana Massa and Aina Raiza Cuello, it's a wrap from us this week. We'll be back again on Monday.